Good evening, dear tutor and classmates. My name is Sofia Leal. I'm a member of collaborative group number 5. So next, I will try to share with you my screen so that we all see a PowerPoint presentation that I made to make our lecture more interesting. Sorry, interesting. Um, Give me a minute. I'm going to share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
Thank you, Yuri, and or the classmate. So, the theme of the lecture is about the Me Too movement created by the activist Tarana Burke, and we are the group number 5. Um, Leaving the cover page for a minute, the first step to start the lecture is the introduction. This conference is made at the task number 5 that is entitled Creating a Lecture. It is a collaborative activity and we have as members Lisette, Lady, Yuri, and Angelica. We all form the group number 5 and our tutor is Monica del Rosario Guillen and we are in the course Advancing English 1. So, the next step is the presentation of our classmates. So let's start with Lady. Sorry, Lady. Lady, tell us who are you?
Yes, because I have a few anti friends came Pace and Helga.
Yes, and Angelica, can you start with your presentation?
Yes. Okay. Good night. My name is Angelica Cuellar. I live in Bogota. I live in Suba. I work in the Sudameric Bank. In this moment, I am pregnant. I am going to have a boy. I am happy for share with you this presentation, this lecture, and share this topic uh, in a good way.
Thank you, Angelica. So I'm going to talk about me. So my name is Elena Sofia Leal Lozada. I'm 20 years old and I'm from Yopal Casanare, but I live in Villanueva Casanare. That is a small town in the department of Casanare. I live with my parents. I don't work. Um, I consider myself as a responsible and disciplined person. I love animals. I like to read books of romance and science fiction, and my favorite book is Rebellion. And thank you so much, classmates. So the next to
Lady?
continue, lady. Okay, lady.
Okay. My name is Lady Yamile Perez Corredor. I live in Quirón, Santander. I am married. I have a son. I am a Spanish teacher. I work in a primary school. No more.
Thank you, lady. So we continue with Yuri. Yuri, tell us about you. Something about you. Yuri. Yuri, tell us something about you. Tell us your presentation. Oh, yes. Here it is again. Yuri. Yuri, Yuri, tell us something about you. What happened with Yuri? Okay, we are going to do the next step. So talk about the video. Yes, and I'm going to talk about the video that is in the activity guide. There is about Tarana Burke. She is an activist, and in 1996, the testimony of a girl, a victim of sexual abuse by a family member. From that moment, she decided to do something for all women that like her, and that's how she created the movement Me Too. In the last years, exactly from the year 2017, it was that the movement had more recognition. That's to the famous actresses who denounce the abuse committed by a director. If we think about that, we see how, from a certain time to now, women have focused on asserting their rights, and a trend is now as girl power has been created and that recognize a capacity of everything often of progress. In the movement Me Too, created by Borg, she tries to like empower, especially women of the color who for centuries have been victims of all kinds of abuse considered in a principle as slaves being discriminated by the color. So the next step is arguments about pros and cons to the video and the Me Too movement. So, Lady Angelica, it's
Okay,
your
Yes,
turn.
Angélica,
that well, okay. The movement Me Too is a good movement create for um, understand the woman and the problems that they presented. It's a good initiative to raise awareness of the problem of sexual abuse in the world. Movements like Me Too can help all the girls and women of the world to live with security, dignity, and respect. Mm, it had it was adopted in different countries and evidence this problem in worldwide. Um, the the contrast the contrasts are that many women don't have the real support because are common persons. It's different be an actors or famous person and a quotidian person. Um, in this movement, the voice is for these persons basically. And the real problem in many occasions no is not resolved. Um, the men's don't have in many occasions consequence legal or labor consequence and this problem in many cases is superficial.
This platform was created by Torana Barker, who from very young was involved in campaigns to accompany people, especially marginalized communities. And in my opinion, I consider very important this platform because this movement and this platform because Me Too is a platform that provide psychological support to survivors who have been victims of sexual violence. And the unique con is, for example, in the veracity of the story told because uh, can they can be invented. um, no more.
Compañeras, ¿me escuchan?
Yes, Yuri, you are bad again. Oh, no. Okay. I agree with you, Angelica and Lady. So I want to share some pros and cons in my opinion. In this case, the Me Too movement give importance to the possibility as a means to achieve many objectives without fearing doubts and failures. And in this movement, maybe people use this label, Me Too, as a joke, inventing history or making fun of those people who have really suffered violence, where they victimize and treat and mismanage. So, Yuri, you are back again. So, can you share with us your presentation, your personal presentation? Yuri, no. Okay, we are going to do the next step. That is the interesting facts. So I'm going to talk about,
Can you hear me right now?
yes, Yuri. Yes, Yuri. Can share with us your personal presentation? Okay,
You
Yuri.
hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Okay. I'm going to talk about some interesting facts. What is sexual abuse? True legal definitions differ from one place to another. The general sexual abuse can refer to unwanted sexual content and then sometimes involving physical force. It can involve such things as a child or teen abuse, increased rape, and sexual exploitation by helping a professional. For example, do you know that the Bible condemns sexual abuse in because the Bible tells of a sex racism of the subterranean to males visiting the city of Sodom approximately 400 years ago. Mocks assaults are carried out by acquaintances because the book Taking Sex with Your Kids says something. In two out three rapes, the victim knows her attacker. So that is familiar, maybe, or some friend. And the next interesting fact is about sexual assault happens to both genders, male um, and the men. So the prevalence of sexual assault is hardly surprising. And sexual assault is not the victim's fault because some people say that it's put or the fault to the other person, and it's not like that. So, Yuri, can you share with us your presentation in this moment? Yuri, Yuri, can you share with us something about you or your presentation? No, this is impossible. So we are going to do the next step, that is questions and answers. And I'm going to do two questions, or any of you have a question, Angelica or Lady?
Mm, do you think that this movement are grew or stay static in this moment or uh, generalize in in another countries or what happened with this moment? What do you think?
The question is for Lady or for me?
Eh, eh, mm, ¿cuál que-
Okay, for example, if we move the movement to Colombia, we should think that about what will happen if a poor woman, a victim of sexual abuse or sexual violence, try to point out an aggressor. It's very difficult because maybe she doesn't have enough support so that her case don't go unpunished. Since unfortunately in our country we need to be a friend of someone with power, and that your case has relevance. And in this movement has created in United States, so there are the principle, and it's difficult to move to another countries, but I think that it's not impossible.
Okay,
Um, okay.
thank you.
And now we are going to do the conclusions. So, Angelica or Lady, can you share with us your conclusion?
Okay. About this topic, for example, I can be conclude that the sexual violence is a global problem. Unfortunately, in some case, this type of crime goes unpunished. For example, in our country, there are more 2,000 cases of girls a cause of conflict in Colombia. I consider for this reason is very important the idea of Tarana Barker when I mention a fear is very the idea is eradicate to the violence to the abuse in the world.
Yes, thank you, Lady. Angelica, can you share with us your conclusion?
It's important to support the women that have this problem, and no only in a social network, maybe can view this problem to legal and static public statics in the most conscious in resolve this problem.
Um, and thank you, Angelica, for your conclusion. My conclusion is that about the video, it's important to keep in mind these two works, that is empathy, possibility. The author highlight both words in the TikTok because it would be great help each of us were to think about what these people suffer and leave aside the feel numb what traumatizes us, and many people for feel numb or intensive have ended their lives because they believe that have no one to help, and for example, it's important to change with us. Start with me. Yes, the change doesn't occur if we expect that someone helps to us. It must start with ourselves and eliminate those selfish doubts. And remember that helping is not just saying you are not a blame or you have to report it. Because of course, reading to the statement you are not a blame is easy, but we have to help the people that suffer, and it's important this thing for all the people. So the next step for conclude our presentation, I'm going to share my screen. Yes, and this is our step conclusions and the acknowledgements. So thank you all for being here and taking a little of your time to make our lecture. I hope you have a good night and see you in another opportunity, partners.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, okay.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.